All right, now what we're going to do today is I'm going to go over a bunch of math problems with all of you, and I will answer any questions that any of you have from the entire course. I'd be happy to answer any questions and just prepare you. Just a couple of tips. I'm preparing for the state exam. Um, the best thing you can do a day before you take the state exam is to get a good night's sleep. Common sense will help you more than anything else. I'm telling you that if you do not know the answers to the state exam 12 hours before you take the state exam, you don't know the answer, and staying up all night long cramming is not going to help you. You miss those little words that's going to, all of the following are true, except, and um, the way they worded, they leave that, they put in that one word if you misread it. So make sure you get a good night's sleep. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get out to the testing service, because in case you're running into traffic, you get a little bit nervous, and you got to be as calm as possible. That's what I need all of you to do. I got another question here. Someone asked me if I got scheduled for the next 2-day review. Yep, the schedule is this Saturday and Sunday. So, let's see, today's the 5th. Saturday and Sunday. October, I think it's October 11th and 12th. Today's the 5th. 10th and 11th, October 10th and 11th. This coming Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. until 4:30 each day. I go the whole time. Every 6 weeks, I do a 2-day review. This one's done on live webinar. Thank you. Yes, 10th and 11th. Thank you, Rebecca. It's a complete review of the entire course. There's a workbook that's included. It's about an 80-page workbook that I put together, and it just goes over the highlights. I cover a lot of math as well on this one. Now, I just want to say this. If you do everything I tell you to do from the first day of class until today, and review all my notes, everything I wrote down, everything I told you to X off or underline, did all the questions at the back of the chapter, you did the videos, the audios, you should be okay. Sometimes people feel they need a little bit more, and that's why I do the all-day review. Most of the people that take the all-day review are not from my class, but there's a cost for it. It's $95. That's for both days, including the workbook as well. So usually what I tell people to schedule the state exam as quickly as possible, which I'm going to tell you as well. So I want you to, the workbook is downloadable. Yes, we mail you hard copy of the book as well. So this is something that I do. As I said, most people from my class do not do it, but occasionally they need a little bit of extra help in there. Now, I want you to finish up all the chapter quizzes and schedule the state exam as quickly as possible. I still heard they're a little bit backed up. It might take you about 2 weeks to get in there, unless you drive a little bit further, because there's only one location in Chicago. They offer it in Elgin, Franklin Park, Buffalo Grove. I'm trying to think. There's 30 locations, including downstate Springfield and Champaign, Urbana, and St. Louis, Indiana, Milwaukee. But there's only one place in Chicago, unfortunately. So schedule your tests as quickly as possible while this information is still fresh in your mind. I know a lot of people they say, oh, I've been in a class for 5 weeks, so I want to take a couple of weeks and relax, and a couple of weeks turns into a couple of months. Next thing you know, you're in the holidays. You know what? Get it done, get it over with. It's another, you should get in there another week or two, do it as quickly as possible. I do not schedule the exam. That's done through a service. You have all the quizzes done. How do you schedule the exam? As you get done with every quiz, there is a how to schedule your test. And what you have to do, well, you go on a website and you go to their website, which is goamp.com. And you want to schedule your Illinois broker's exam. They give you a choice what state and which exam you want to take the broker's exam. Now, once you do that, they're going to give you a 6-digit ID number. You need to email that back to the school. The school will report that back to AMP that's saying, yes, you did complete all the quizzes. And then you're allowed to schedule your exam. So watch your email. Usually within 24 hours, AMP will contact you so you could schedule your test. If you don't hear from them within 48 hours, I will contact the school and ask them what's going on. But they're very, very good about this. It's done automatically. goamp.com. And the cost to schedule is $55 for the test to the state. So, okay. Any other questions on anything about the course or anything else before I get started? Maybe any particular math problems, because I have a whole list of math problems that I want to cover with you. So if you don't, I will get started. Okay, here's a problem. I'm going to try to write it out the way you see it on the state exam. A property sold. Oh, that's awfully thick. A property sold for $350,000. The commission was 7%. It's going to be divided as follows. The listing agent will receive %40 of the total commission. The balance will be split 50-50 between the sponsoring broker and the agent who made the sale. Question is, how much did the listing agent earn? What I'm going to do is just give you like a moment to try to solve these problems. and then I will show you how to do it. So a property sold for $350,000. The commission is 7%, total commission. The listing agent will receive 40% of the total commission. The balance is going to be split 50-50 between the sponsoring broker and the agent who made the sale. Question is, how much did the listing agent earn? Take a moment, figure it out, and then I'm going to solve this one for you. Just sometimes people like to, try to work it out themselves, and you learn. Even by making mistakes, you learn. Okay. All right, let's solve this for you. Property sold for $350,000. The commission is 7%. Multiply this by 7%. And that's going to give us $21,000. No, it's not. Sorry. Yeah, calculator doesn't work. I don't even have a calculator. It's going to give me 20. Oh, here it goes. Now my calculator's working. Times 7%. Gives me 24,500. Sorry. Let me clear this up. Oh, that really got in there. There we go. 24,500. That's a total commission. Multiply that by 40%. Comes out to, I just made these up. That's why I had to do this. Comes out to $9,800. And that is your answer, $9,800. Now, what some of you do, and one of the answers will be there, is that you split that 98 in half. I don't know why you did that. It has nothing to do with the problem. Let me read the problem to you again. Property sold for $350,000. The commission is 7%. The listing agent will receive 40% of the total commission. The total commission. Then the balance will be split 50-50 between the sponsoring broker and the agent that made the sale. But the question is, how much did the listing agent earn? They give you information you don't need. If you use that information, you'll probably come up with an answer and it's going to be wrong. You just got to be careful. Yeah, you don't split that in two because it doesn't say to do that. That's where you have to be careful. Anybody have any questions? Yeah, you got to be very careful about reading the questions. They're very, very tricky. They really are. All right, I got another problem that you should see as well. A owner, I don't know if I did this with you or not. an owner wants to net $175,000 from the sale of their home. After paying a commission of 7%. Question is, what does the property need to sell for? This is something you see on the state exam. The owner wants to net $175,000 from the sale of their home after paying a commission of 7%. What does the property need to sell for? Someone says, what was the answer? Was that to the last problem? Okay, here, I'm going to give it back to you. Rebecca, hold on. I didn't erase it. 9,800, there it is. Okay, let me get back to this problem. You're welcome, Rebecca. All right, the owner wants to net out $175,000 from the sale of their home after paying a 7% commission. Question is, what does the property need to sell for? Now, some of the answers I see up there that you guys put up there are wrong. Here's what you did. Here's what I think all of you did. You took 175,000 times 7%, and whatever that number was, you added to the 175, and you got a number, which will probably be the same number on the state exam, but that's wrong because now you're basing the commission on a net. The owner wants to net out. We need to know what the property is going to sell for. So to solve this problem, and all of you will see this, I want to know what the property is going to sell for at 100%. I know the commission is 7%, so if I minus the 7%, that leaves me 93%. That represents the owner's net. So if I took 175,000, and then I would have to divide it by 93%. And the answer is 188,172.04. Now, just want to tell you something. Most of your math problems, you could do it backwards. Almost every single math problem, you could do it backwards. This is one of the answers, 188,172. You take that number, you multiply it by 7%, should give you 13,172. Subtract that from the 188 and you get the 175, so you can verify that number. Yes, I'll go through the steps again. Now, here's what looks like everyone did, which was wrong. They took 7% of 175,000, but that's the owner's net, which is going to be a wrong answer, which is one of the answers again. I need to know, excuse me, I need to know what the property is going to sell for at 100%. I know the commission is 7%, so if I minus the 7%, that leaves me 93%. That represents the owner's net. So if I take 175,000 right here, divide it by 93%, comes out to 188, 172. That's what the property needs to sell for the owner to net out 175,000 after paying a 7% commission. This is something that I expect all of you to see. Don't worry about if you get a mistake, if you make a mistake here, okay? You learn by your mistakes. As long as we're on that, let me give you another problem. Similar to it. An owner wants to net $250,000 after paying a 6% commission and after paying closing fees of $2,850. Question is, what does the property need to sell for? So that the owner nets $250,000 after the commission, after closing costs. What's the answer to the last problem? And let me bring it back down. Property needs to sell for 188, 172. That's the last problem. Okay. This one's a little tricky too. I don't know if I'm right. I got a different answer. I got 263. $385, $0.41. Let me just double check my work. Yep, I'm right. Here, let me show you. It's a little tricky. The owner wants to net out $250,000 after paying a 6% commission and closing fees of $28.50. We have to add the $28.50 to this. I'll tell you why in a second, which comes out to $252,850. I need to know what the property is going to sell at 100%. Minus a commission of 6% leaves us with 94%. Now, usually what I would do, like I did on the last problem, if I didn't have the closing costs, I'd take $250,000 divided by 94%. But we have closing costs. Now I have to add the closing costs to the seller's net, which gives me this $252,850. Now I divide this by 94%, which equals $263,385. The reason why I had to add the closing costs, because I already subtracted the commission. And if I added after I divided by 94%, then I wind up paying a 6% commission on closing costs, and seller doesn't pay commission on closing costs. This is something, one of those two, you see one of those last two problems. Yeah, you don't pay commission on a closing. Someone says they got 268. Am I doing this wrong? I did it twice. Okay, so what I'm going to do, 250,000 plus 228.50 gives me 252,850. 252,850 divided by 94%. 94%. I put in 96%. 268. You're right. 268. Sorry about that. I did it by 96%. Made a mistake. 268. 989. 268,989. Let me see. Okay. Don't forget to add the closing cost. And then you divide by the 94%. Now, I got a problem that I put together. It's going to be like on a final. It's kind of a tough problem. It should be very similar to this. Well, I got to do a new canvas. I ran out of canvas. I need a space. Okay. This is question 49 on your final. A buyer earns $120,000 a year. She qualifies for PITI of 25% of her monthly income. taxes and insurance is 4,800 a year. The principal and interest factor principal and interest factor is $10.29 for every $1,000 loan amount. This is on the final. The only reason I included this problem on the final was that I want to make sure that not all of you are going to see this. A handful of you will, but I just want to make sure I covered it. Question is, how much of a loan does she qualify for? Now, this is kind of difficult. Like I said, I only included this in there because some of you will see it, and I don't want to say we did not cover it, but I do have a question. The question is, why do I start at 100%? Because I need to know what the property is going to sell for at 100%. I need to know what the property needs to sell for at 100%. So if I minus a commission, that represents the owner's net. Alberto, you said you solved it algebraic, and that what you just showed me, I am so confused by it, and it's probably right that that's what you'll get, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do it that way. I can do math, and I don't know how I know how to do it, but using these formulas, I have a hard time. I could usually just figure it out. So if that works for you, I don't care as long as you get it right. Shanice, do you understand why I did 100% before I go on? I need to know what the property is going to sell for at 100%. Okay, very good. Just want to make sure. Someone says 360. I don't know. I will solve this right now. That's why. Okay. Engineers, they do know, they got to know math very well. Okay. So how much of a loan does he qualify for? So first of all, I take 120,000, divide this by 12 months, which equals $10,000 a month. She qualifies for 25% for PITI of her monthly income. So multiply this by 25%. That's going to equal $2,500. That $2,500 is a PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Now, the taxes and insurance is $4,800 a year. Divide that by 12 months, equals $400 a month. So if I minus 400, that's for the taxes and insurance, that means 2,100 a month goes towards principal and interest. Now, if I take $2,100 for the principal and interest, because the principal and interest factor is $10.29, I divide this by $10.29, and that's going to equal, give me a second, 2,100 divided by $10.29. That comes out to 204.08. $204.08 for every $1,000 loan amount. Multiply this by 1,000. He qualifies for a mortgage of $204,000. Now, I don't want you to worry about this. Very few of you will see it. I only included this because a few of you will see it. And I don't want to say, someone say, hey, Sam, you never covered this. So that's how you solve this problem. I'll give you a moment to write that down while I think of the next problem. Okay, I got the next problem. I got the next 5 problems. All right, let's get to the next problem. Because this always shows up, I know I went over this. Property has a current market value of $360,000. It's being assessed at let's go with 35%. The equalization factor is 1.2, and the taxes is $4.50 for every $100 of value. Question is, what are the property taxes? So, if you want to try it out, that's fine. If you want to show you how to do it, I got a bunch of problems. Someone said 60, what do you got, 6804? I don't know. But you're an engineer, so you should have that, Alberto. So, looks like, looks like everyone's getting this, and this is one problem that will show up on every single exam without fail. So, 360,000 times 35% will give me $126,000. I multiply this by 1.2. That gives me 151,200. That's the equalized assessed value, 151,200. Taxes are $4.50 for every $100 of value. So I take 151,200 times $4.50. That equals 680,000. Let me erase this a little bit. $680,400. Very good. Divide this by 100. The answer is $6,804. Very good. Transpose your numbers there, I think. 6804. Any questions on this problem? Let me give you another problem. Someone has a question. Problem number 2. I don't know what problem number 2 is. Was this it? Are you talking about this one? You tell me what the problem was. I don't know if this is the problem you're looking for. What's the problem, Shanice? I don't remember what problem number 2 was. I didn't erase anything. I know I got it saved, but I don't know which one you're talking about. Shanice? You want to see problem number 2? I'm not sure which one that is. Ah, okay. Thank you. I think I have it on a different canvas. Here it goes. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that one. Question is, how did I come up with 450 in the last problem? You mean for the taxes? I just made up the number. If that's what that is, $4.50 for every $100 of value. I make up all these problems. I'll go back to that last problem in a moment. Oh, okay. I just make up the numbers, Gia. I just make them up. So someone needed this, okay. You have a copy of this? Then let's get back to my last problem. So the taxes are $6,804. Okay, I got another problem for you. Similar to this. Let me write it out. Let's see what this problem is going to be. Property has a current market value of $320,000. It's being assessed at let me do this again. Let me change this a little bit. Let me do it here. I'm gonna redo that one. A property, I'm gonna write it out the way they would, as a current market value of $320,000. It is being assessed 40%. There is no equalization factor. So I'm going to skip that step. Question is, what are the monthly taxes if the tax rate is 38 mils? So property has a current market of $320,000. It's being assessed at 40%. There's no equalization factor, so the question is, what are the monthly taxes? If the tax rate is 38 mils. Okay. This is covered in chapter 5. Rebecca, are you sure you have the right answer? Are you 100% sure? I mean, are you willing to bet your life that is the correct answer? I'm asking you this, Rebecca. Really? Well, that's good. That means you're going to live. Most of you got the correct answer. No, you're right. You're right. You got the correct answer. Very good. Now, property has a current market value of $320,000. Being assessed at 40%, multiply this by 40% will give me $128,000. That's the assessed value. There's no equalization factor. The taxes are 38 mils, 0.038, which gives me 480. That gives me $4,864. Divide that by 12 months, because what I'm asking for are the monthly taxes. So the answer is yes. Go ahead and smile. It's 403. What was it for? Most of you had the correct answer. Almost everyone did. 403.33. 405.33. I'm sorry. Be careful. Sometimes they ask you for the yearly taxes. Sometimes they ask you for the first installment. Now you divide it by 2. But they ask you for the monthly taxes, you divide it by 12. Be careful. You got to make sure you pay attention. Okay. Next problem. As I said, most everyone got this right. You know what? I was picking on Rebecca, but here's the thing. I don't ever want you to ever change your mind on any answer unless you're 100% sure it's wrong. Most people always have the right answer the first time. So that's what I was trying to get her to change her answer, and she wouldn't do it. So that's good. All right. A parcel of land is described as the west half of the northeast 1/4 of the northwest 1/4 of the northeast 1/4 of section number 21 contains how many acres? All right. You like these problems, Alberto. If you can figure them out, they're kind of fun that you can figure them out. That's good. Well, that's why you're an engineer. You got to love math. It's very precise, and math is. Math is international. It's international. Math, science, and music. Doesn't matter where you study math, science, and music. You go in any country and you could solve problems or pick up an instrument or solve a formula, an equation. You know what, Alberto? A lot of people hate math because they don't understand it. And sometimes it's really difficult for a lot of people to understand. I can't do science. I can't read music. Some people it's very easy for them. Just what sometimes comes naturally to some people, but math is a real tough one. I like math. I like the challenge in math. So I pretty much could figure out almost any problem. So am I. I won a contest of 2,000 people as the worst singer of 2,000 people. I was so bad that the band, the drummer threw his sticks down, the guitar player took off his, they all walked off stage and left me there. That's how bad I was. Looks like everyone got this answer so far. So let's write it out. I know a lot of you know how to solve it, but just make sure. Okay, we have the west half. You always write it out the way it is of the northeast 1/4 of the northwest 1/4 of the northeast 1/4 of section 21. Every section has 640 acres. 4 divided into 640 equals 160. 4 divided into 160 equals 40. 4 divided into 40 equals 10. 2 divided into 10 equals 5 acres. So let me give you another problem. Those of you that got it, good for you. That's what you need to do. Now, here's another problem. A parcel. Ooh, I got a couple of problems. A parcel of land is described. I just remember a couple of questions that some of you will see on a state exam. In 1 second, I got to write it down so I don't forget. Just writing something down. So I'll bring it up. A parcel of land is described as the south half of the southeast 1/4 and the northeast 1/4 of section 18 sold for $16,500 per acre. The commission was 7%. Question is, how much did the sponsoring broker earn? Okay, let's solve this one. So, parcel of land is described as the south half of the southeast 1/4 and the northeast 1/4 of section 18, which has 640 acres. Divide this by 4, gives you 160. Now, when I get to the word and, I stop, I keep what I found, go back to section 18, which has 640 acres, divide that by 4, equals 160. 2 divided into 160 equals 80. 80 plus 160 will give me 240 acres times, in fact, a lot of you forgot the word and. Yep. Times $16,500. So 240 times 16,500 equals $3,960,000 times 7%. The commission comes out to $277,200. So, very tricky. You miss that word and look, it costs you almost $250,000 in commission, over $250,000 in commission. So, gotta be very, very careful. I didn't say anything about a split. There's nothing about a split there. Be careful. Do not add anything to the problem, because you will get an answer, but it's going to be wrong. Maya, very good. You got the correct answer on that one. Okay, you want to take a screenshot, that's fine. Now, let me give you another problem. And this is a problem that all of you will see. This is pretty easy, I think. An owner wants to divide an acre into 6 equal parcels. Each parcel is 50 feet wide. How deep is each parcel? You want me to explain that last problem, Cost? I'd be glad to explain that to you. Let me go to that last problem. Okay, parcel of land is described as the south half of the southeast quarter and the northeast quarter of section 18. That sold for $16,500 per acre. The commission was 7%. What did the sponsoring broker earn? So you write this all out. The south half of the southeast 1/4 and, which I got from here, the northeast 1/4 of section 18. Section 18 is 640. I take 1/4 of that, gives me 160 acres. Now, when I get to the word and, I stop. I keep what I found, this 160 acres here. Going back to section 18 at 640, then I continue. Start off with 640 again, you will have this problem there. 4 divided into 640 is 160. Half of 160 is 80. 80 and 160 equals 240 acres. Then you multiply and then you figure that out. Oops, I went too far. There we go. So, anyone want to try this one? Someone, okay. All right, let me show this to you. I thought it was an easier problem, but Let me show this one to you. By the way, Alberto, I think you are correct. Remember this number you cannot forget. 1 acre equals 43,560 square feet. So an owner wants to divide 1 acre into 6 equal parcels. 43,560 square feet divided by 6 will equal 43 by 60 divided by 6 equals 7260 square feet. If each parcel, you have a 7-Eleven, that's right, 7-Eleven. So you might have to go there for some, beer or wine later on when I get done with that today. It's just down the street. 7260 square feet divided is how many square feet each lot is. Divide this by 50 feet. That's how wide it is. That means that each lot is 145 feet, 0.2 deep, each lot. You remember the 7-Eleven. So, Alberto, you got it correct. Anyone have any questions on this? This is almost exactly what a lot of you will see. Next problem. A parcel of land that is 3 miles by 5 miles contains how many acres? A parcel of land that measures 3 miles by 5 miles contains how many acres? Parcel of land that's 3 miles by 5 miles contains how many acres? Okay, let me show you how to solve this problem. 3 miles by 5 miles is 15 square miles. In a square mile, there are 640 acres in 1 square mile. 640 times 15 square miles, the number of acres, 9,600 acres. Good. some of you got it. Any questions on this? All right. Let me think. Okay, I got another problem for you. Okay. Let's see. The rent is $2,400 a month plus 3% of gross sales over $950,000 a year. Gross sales for the year was $1,025,000. With a problem similar to this, question is, what was let me clear something here first of all, sorry. For the year was 1,025,000. Oh, for the year was, I did that right, okay. Now, question is, what was the average monthly rent last year? So the rent is $2,400 a month plus 3% of gross sales over $950,000 a year. The gross sales for the year was $1,025,000. What was the average monthly rent last year? This is called a percentage lease, by the way. Give you another moment to try to figure this out. All right, let me solve this one for you. The rent is $2,400 a month plus 3% of gross sales over $950,000 a year. Gross sales for the year was $1,025,000 minus the $950 that's exempt. Leaves me with $75,000. 75,000 times 3% will give me $2,250 for the year. That's for the year. My question is, what's the average monthly rent? I need to take $2,250 divided by 12 months. That's going to give me $187.50 a month. $2,400 a month plus $187.50 a month will equal $2,587.50. That's the answer. Most of you got this right. Some of you took that 2250, you added to the 2400. And that's where you got the wrong answer on that one. You got to be careful. It's okay to make your mistakes here. Don't get too many zeros. Sometimes that happens too. Okay. Next problem. All right, next problem is this. A property sold for $460,000. They have a down payment of 20%. They have points of 3. Loan origination fee of 2. Question is, how much did the buyer pay in points? Remember, points and loan origination fee are always based on the loan amount. Points and loan origination fee, always based on the loan amount. How do you know that the 950 is exempt? Because I said the rent is $2,400 a month. Here, let me go back to the problem. I'll tell you why. Here it is. Oh no, that's a wait. I don't think this is it. Let me just find out. Yeah, here it is. The rent is $2,400 a month plus 3% of gross sales over the $950,000 a year. Over. Gross sales was $1,025. This is exactly how it will be on the state exam. What was the average monthly rent? So here, I take $1,025,000 the gross rent, but the first 950 is exempt because I said the gross sales over 950 a year, 3% of anything over 950. Okay. Nope, that's not what I want. I lost my problem. I lost my problem, but I'll make it up again if I can't find it now. This is all too. All right. Let me see what I said. A property sold. I believe I said 460,000. I think I said that amount with a down payment of 20%. Buyers paying points of 3 and loan origination fee of 2. Question is, how much? Did the buyer pay? And points. So let me solve this for you. I see once you have the answer. Okay. All right, let's solve this problem. $460,000 times 20%. That's the down payment. Remember, points and loan origination fee are always paid on loan amount, not purchase price. So 460 times 20% is 92,000. Subtract the 92,000 and you get a loan for the difference. Which is 378,000. Multiply that by 3 points. Each point is 1% of the loan amount, like loan origination fee. So 378,000 times 3% comes out to $11,340. That's it. You gotta be careful. Oh, 368. Sorry about that. The 368, 15. Yeah, it is 368. See, I'm trying to do this without a calculator. 368 times 3%. times 3%. $11,040. That's what a lot of you got. Now, sometimes if you took two loan origination fee and you added that to it, you will have an answer, but it's wrong, and that's what they try to do. You got to be careful about reading the problems. Okay. You don't add 1/8 of the discount point. Let me explain what the 1/8% means. Every point the buyer pays on the closing increases the investor's yield. What it means to the investor, by them paying 1 point up front, it really basically increases the interest rate by 1/8%. We don't ever figure out the 1/8%. Janice, do you understand? For example, if a person paid, if they paid 1 point up front, let's say, it doesn't matter what the loan amount is, but if they were charging a 3% interest rate, by the buyer paying 1 point in advance, they could drop the interest rate to 2 7/8. But to the lender, because they're paying that 1 point, it's like if they were still getting 3%. That's where the 1/8 comes from. It's just the points are interest paid in advance. That's all points are. Interest paid in advance. Okay. So I'll make sure you're clear on that. Now, let's see. I'm trying to think of other math problems. I don't think I did this one. I didn't do the farm for you. So, let's see. This is something similar. Some of you might see this very, very similar type problem. This is a piece of farmland. This is the shape. This is the shape of my farm. It's 800 feet from here to here. It's 200 feet from here to here. It's another 200 feet from here to here. It's 2,100 feet from here to here. Question is, on a state exam, are you allowed to skip any question and come back to them? But you don't have to answer them in order. You see a question, what you do once you read the question, it says, do you want to come back? Even if you answer it, they ask you if you want to come back. So you can come back to any question you want. As long as you check off, come back to a problem. Even if you don't check them off, you could go through every single answer if you want. It's 1,500 feet from this point here to this point here. This is my farm. I need to buy seed to plant my crops. I need to know how many square feet of crops, of land do I have, of what they call tillable land. Also, I want to mention that right here, we have a 2.5 acre swamp. Question is, how many square feet of tillable land? Remember, there's two formulas you need to know. Length times width equals the area. That's a formula for a square or rectangle. Formula for a triangle, of course, is half the base times the height equals the area. I want to try this out. I have another question. An exam. Are you allowed to scratch a piece of paper? Don't bring any paper with you. They will give you a piece of paper. They give you a bright neon green piece of paper. You have to write your name on it, and you have to turn that piece of paper in. So don't bring any paper with you. Bring something to write with, but don't bring any paper. They will provide it for you. And if you use up that scratch paper, you turn that one you have, and they give you another one. Calculator. I'll talk about calculators in a moment. So this is the shape of my farmland. I need to know how many square feet of tillable land that I have. Remember, it's kind of a little bit similar to the one on the house. The house most of you will get, you know, the one with the family room and the garage and all that. Some of you will get this one. So how we're going to solve this thing, we have to break this down into sections. So let's call this, I'm going to do it this way. And I'm going to call this section A. I'm going to call this part section B. Then I'm going to call this part here section C. So section A oops, I went too far. Is 800 feet by 200 feet, which equals 160,000 square feet. That takes care of A. B is 1,500 feet by how many feet wide? Does anyone know? 600, very good. But I don't see 600. How did you get 600? Well, let me get a pointer here. Do a highlighter. This is 800 feet from here to here, but from here to here is 600 feet. How did I get 600? 800 from here to here, minus the 200, so this has to be 600 feet. Oops, I can't draw that way. Hold on. This comes 600 feet right here. So 1,500 by 600 equals 900,000 square feet. Now, section C. Is half the base times the height. Remember, half the base. Hold on a second. Half the base times the height. So the base of the triangle is 600 feet. Let me see, if this is 600 feet from here to here, over on the left, this on the right-hand side, the base of the triangle happens to be 600 feet. So it's half of 600 feet times the height. Now the height will be from here to here, to the apex. So how many feet is that? Any guesses? Nope, not 600. It's 400. The answer is 400. How did I get 400? Well, let me show you. Let me get back to my highlighter. This is 2,100 feet. You see this? From here to the apex is 2,100 feet. Now, from here to here, see I'm on the right-hand side on the bottom. This is 200 feet right here. This is 1,500 feet from here to here. So 2,100 feet is the whole thing. But from here to here, I'm on the bottom right-hand side, it's 200 feet. Minus the 200 leaves me 1,900. Now this is 1,500 feet from this point here to this point here. I got that from this up here. Minus 1,500. I mean, this is what you'll see, which will give me 400. So this, from here to this point, has to be 400 feet. So half of 600, so C, half of 600 is 300 times 400, and that's going to equal, let me move up a little bit, that's going to equal 120,000 square feet. So if I total this up together, I get 1,180,000 square feet. So, question is that my answer? Not $12,000. Square feet, I'm looking at square feet. That's not my answer. What do I have to do now? I gotta subtract the swamp. Swamp is 2.5 acres. 1 acre is 43,560 square feet times 2.5 acres gives me 108,900 square feet. There we go. Minus 108,900. So the total tillable land that I have is 1,071,100 square feet. By the way, most of these problems, especially this problem right here, I cover in chapter Appendix A. It's called Appendix A. I put up 22 problems out there. I give you the problem with possible answers to them. And then try it on your own. But then I have step by step right after that how to solve each and every single one of the problems. I already set that up for you. This is one of them that you'll see on there. Okay. You don't have to do Appendix A. I created Appendix A because most of Appendix A is what you will see on the state exam. You don't have to do that, but it is almost every single problem. If you study Appendix A, that would pretty much cover every single math problem. I just give you a few extra that occasionally will be on there. So, but Appendix A, I have seen several times on the state exam. I mean, all those problems that I put together. So. Okay. I think I got one or two other math problems for you, but I tell you what, because we'd probably get done a little bit early today, but I'm going to stick around to answer some questions. I'll give you a few more tips. This is Appendix A right here, page 405. And it's a lot of the stuff I just covered because a lot of these same problems here, I've seen all of these problems on the state exam. So here's a problem. I put in, I think, 22 of them here. And in fact, remember this one, because this one shows up quite often. And this one, the farm. I just did the farm for you as well. And then I have step-by-step how to solve all of these math problems. 0418. 7th, page 418 on a 7th edition. Okay, thank you. Okay, someone wants to know how I got the measurements for C. Sure, I'll go back to that one. All right. Now, let me get my highlighter for C. From this point up here, I'm going to highlight it to down here is 600 feet. And where I got that from, let me show you. Sorry, I have to move my thing a little bit. Now, how I get that? Oops, let me do this again. All right. So I'm going to go on the far right-hand side here. This is 800 feet. Far left-hand side, sorry. This is 800 feet from here to here. Okay. It's 200 feet from here to here, which means from this point here to this point here is 600 feet, this. So if this is 600 feet right here, let me go to the base of the triangle over here. Then this is 600 feet. How to get 400 feet from here to the apex is 400 feet. How do I get that? Well, this is 2,100 square feet from this point here, this X right here, to the apex right here. It's 400 feet. 2,100 square feet. Now, it's 200 feet from here to here. I get that from the top right here. It's 1,500 feet from here to here. Where'd I get that from? From here. So, 2,100 feet down here on the bottom left-hand side to the bottom right-hand side is 2,100 feet. So, that's 2,100 feet. Minus this 200 feet down here leaves me 1,900 feet. Minus the 1,500 over here leaves me 400 feet. So here's the 200, bottom left-hand side of the farm. This is 200 feet from here to here. 1,500 feet from here to here. That means from this point here to this point here has to be 400 feet. The formula for a triangle, I'm down here now, half the base times the height equals the area. Half of 600, which is this, half of 600 times 400, going back down here, is 120,000 square feet. Okay, now, question is where I get to 43,000 square feet? Well, the swamp. Remember, I have a swamp. You can't grow crops in the swamp. Here's the swamp right here. The swamp is 2.5 acres. Oops. A swamp is 2.5 acres. 1 acre equals 43,560 square feet. That's what I have here. Times 2.5 acres here equals 108,900 for the swamp. I have to subtract the swamp. So this is how much tillable land I have right here. Okay, very good. I just want to make sure everyone understood it. All right. Now, let's see. I got another problem for you. I'm going to give you a problem right out of the Bible. Okay, I'm going to give you a Bible problem because maybe some of you need to pray a little bit, but okay. Here's the question. And I'll give you multiple choice answers. So I want you to just take a second. It shouldn't take long to solve this pretty easy problem. Question is, when Moses built the ark, When Moses built the ark. How many pairs of animals did he bring with him? So I'll give you a choice, A, B, C, or D. Was it, let's say 0? Was it 1 pair, 2 pairs, or a infinite pairs of animals? So, give you multiple choice. A, B, C, or D. When Moses built the ark, how many pairs of animals did he bring with him? Was it A, 0? Was it B, 1 pair? Was it C, 2 pair? Or was it infinite number? Pretty easy question. The answer is that's what we put down. Rebecca said 0. Brian first said 0, then he changed it to 1. The answer is 0. You know why? Moses did not build the ark. It was Noah that built the ark. You got to be careful. Read the questions carefully. Moses walked in the desert for 40 years. Did you get you get that one? You got to be careful and read the questions carefully. Gotcha. You fell for it. That's right. See what I mean? You think you know something very simple. We all know who built the ark, but you missed that one word. That's why you got to be very, very careful reading the questions on a state exam. You're not going to get this question on there, but I want you to understand what I'm talking about. Yep, yep. Yeah, it's very, well, just want you to make sure you pay attention. I bet if you got that question, too bad you're not going to get that question on the state exam. All of you will get it right. So now, I might have one more math problem that's kind of long and hard. I show it to you, but not many of you will get this. I'm going to save that for a little bit, but want to give you some tips now. Let's say you're not scheduled to take the test until next week. You finish up the quizzes in the next day or two, you schedule your test, but you can't get in there for another week. What I need all of you to do every day, review the questions, go over the notes, go over the math, go over the highlights or the X's I told you to do every day. I'm not talking about all day. I need you to spend an hour a day, each and every day until you take the test. You got to keep that information fresh in your mind. Okay. Someone asked me to go over question number 8 in Appendix 8. I will. I'll come back to that. I sure will. So you need to keep all this information fresh in your mind. I'm telling you, it's not going to last. You shut down everything. You shut down your computer, close your book, you schedule your test. You don't pick any of this up for a week. I'm telling you, you're going to forget it. You got to keep it fresh in your mind. Okay. I would say spend an hour a day reviewing everything. Yes, spend an hour a day reviewing everything. So now, before I get into the last few math problems, someone wants me to help them with question number 8. I don't remember what it is, but I'll go over that with you as well. But all of you need to focus on the state exam. Now, once you pass the state exam, I'm always looking to hire agents in my office. I have a pretty big office. I have a 10,000 square foot office. Let me, and I do all the training in my office. Now, I work at Century 21 Universal. It's at 7300 Northwestern. Now, my office is pretty big. I got 10,000 square foot office. I got free parking for 120 cars. I have 29 private offices. I don't charge agents for the office. They have to earn it, though. They have to earn the office. And I manage this office. I do all the training on this office. I have 185 agents, 187 agents right now. I do all the training. I do training on a regular basis. My training is to help the agents get up and productive in the next 30 days. I told you, I think in the beginning, the first day, that when you interview with brokers, they're going to tell you that it might take you 6 months or a year before you do any business. Well, you can forget about that. You need to get business done right away, and I will help you do that. Century 21 has a bunch of training videos, over 200, 210. And then plus what I do. I got training going on all the time, all the time. So I do a lot of one-on-one. If someone, let's say you're licensed today and someone calls you up and says, hey, I want to sell my home. You have no idea what to do. I'll go with you on that appointment. And that's what I do. I do a lot of it. You still get the commission, but I go with you on that appointment. I make sure you get successful. You should interview with other companies, but I would like a chance to interview with you as well. If you're not in my area, it doesn't matter. Most everything's done online. You want to come to, I let people know ahead of time what my training topics are going to be, and I'll be able to help you. I got agents all over. I have them. I have an agent living in Lake Bluff. I have one that lives in Bartlett. I have an agent that lives in Dalton. I got 2 agents that live in Beverly on the far south side, Riverside. I can't even remember. I have them from all over, my agents. So it doesn't matter where you live. So, so if you want, focus on this. But if you, once you pass, I'd like to talk to you. So here's my full name. And my email, I'll give it to you again. Sam.R.E. Academy That's a C, sorry. At yahoo.com. Just give me a chance to interview with you. Naperville, I get referrals out there. I could use. I know, Charles. You said you live in Naperville, and like I said, myself, I live far. I live in Campton Hills. I'm an hour and a half away from the city. I drive down there every day because I have to. But I get properties, and I had a listing, a $550,000, $550,000 listing in St. Charles, which isn't that far from Naperville, less than a half an hour. It's far from Chicago. I get properties. I had a couple of my agents, they took listings out in Elgin. I get referrals from all over. So best way to schedule an interview, once you pass the state exam, contact me by email. I'll respond to you. I love to hook up with you as well. And we do give leads. We absolutely pass out leads. I don't list and sell, neither does the owner of the company. And there's several different ways that we get leads out to the agents. And I don't know if I told you, I have I had this agent 10 days in my office, 10 days, new agent. A guy she's a home health care person, and she's taking care of this elderly couple in Lincolnwood. Guy broke his back, he's going to a nursing home, and she overheard a couple talking that they're going to sell their property. They're going to call up 3 agents. She says, look, I have a real estate license. I'd like opportunity to meet with you. And the guy says, that's fine, but I just want to let you know I am going to talk to 3 other agents. So I went with her on, it was 2 appointments. One, we went there to gather information, build a rapport with them, and then I came back with the CMA. Now, I asked the owner if he has any children. He says, I got 3 sons. Any of them handle your affairs? He goes, I only have 1 son that handles my affair. I says, that's fine. I want to invite that son, but I want to invite all 3 sons to this presentation because it's their family. Even though 1 son is handling everything, I needed to include everyone in there. You don't like to leave any family members out. And he really appreciated that I did that. So I went there with the market analysis. He wanted 600,000 and a little bit dated and needed some repairs. And I really told him I like to get him 600, but it was worth only 500,000. So I wound up, we listed it for, oh, by the way, he didn't call any other agents once he met with us. He said, no, I'm done. I'm not going to call anyone else. I like everything that you said, even the son. His 1 son lives actually like a mile away from my house, because we're talking. He said, I asked him where he lived. He says, I live by St. Charles. I go, I live by St. Charles too. He says, well, I live in Campton Hills. I says, that's where I live in Campton Hills. No one knows where Campton Hills is at. And everyone says by St. Charles. So we found out we go to the same restaurants and stuff like that. It was very, very good. So we wound up listing for 500,000, sold it for 494. I was right on target with this property. They're very happy. That was their first listing. Another quick one, real quick. I don't know if I told you this, but about 2 years ago, I have this agent who's taking my class. Her name is Sherry Erlacher. And I look at the name, I go, Erlacher's not a very common name. I said to her, you related to Brian? She goes, it's my baby brother. I said, oh, okay. So I told her that, actually he gave me an autographed football. I have it here. And he had his property listed on the market last year for $3 million. So Brian Erlacher lives in a town called Mattawa. I've never heard of it, but it's right next to Libertyville. It's in Lake County next to Libertyville. She lives in Lake Bluff, my agent, Sherry Erlacher. So on the market for a year, didn't sell. So I told her that the way to sell a $3 million property, you had to figure out who your target market is. And you had to go after that target market. Now, Brian is still in touch with all the Bears players, all the agents, the accountants, the attorneys. So what I said, what we're going to do with this property, we're going to have um, a event. We're going to invite all these Bear players and accountants and lawyers. Those are the people that could afford a $3 million property. You can't put up a sign and put it in a multiple listing to sell a $3 million property. You have to find out who your market is, who could afford to buy that property. So what we're going to do, we're going to put together a nice package about the property. We're going to serve fine wine, nice hors d'oeuvres. I'm going to have some background music, someone playing, the harp or the violin. I got to get that background music in there. Plus, I got a mortgage guy who's going to pay for everything, no cost to the agent or to the office. I have a mortgage company because we're going to let him add something to the package about his business. That's how you sell a $3 million property. Plus, her other brother's name is Casey Erlacher. Casey is the mayor of Mattawa, and Casey knows other politicians, state representatives, other mayors in the Lake County. I says, we'll invite him, and he's going to invite all the other politicians. Those are the people that could afford that kind of property. That's how you sell a $3 million property. So I'm supposed to meet with him this month. I'm supposed to meet with Brian Erlacher this month and tell him about our plan to get his property sold. So that's what you got to think of. You got to think a little bit how to reach that market. So let me go to that Appendix A. Oh, I'm going to take pictures. I got an agent of mine, he does photography, so I'm going to invite him over there. Yeah, it's going to look like his sister, Sherry, she's 6 feet tall. She's really tall, long blonde hair. But when I talk to her, I feel like I'm standing in a hole or something. He's my future ex-husband. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. I might invite real estate agents there. I think it'd be pretty good. So, all right. Someone has a problem on Appendix A, number 8. Actually went over this, but a property sold for $240,000. The down payment is 25%. The buyer and the seller agree to split the discount points of 3. How much should each buyer pay in points? So, property sold for $240,000. They put 25% down. 25% of 240,000 comes out to $60,000. Minus the down payment. Remember, points and loan origination fee are always paid on the loan amount, which gives me 180,000. Now the buyer and the seller agree to split the 3 points. So 180,000 times 3% comes out to $5,400. Split that in 2. Comes out to they each paid $2,700. Okay. Now, let me show you one other problem. This one, I don't think, save it for last because it's kind of long and drawn out. A few of you will see it, a few of you. But I want to make sure I cover everything. Now, the principal and interest payment is $16.25 a month. They got a loan for $300,000 at 5% interest. So the interest is 5%. The question is, what does, let's say the homeowner won the lottery after living there for 2 months. How much will he owe the bank? What does the owner owe the lender? After making two payments. So, show you how to solve this. A little complicated, but just in case you get this one. So, the payments are $16.25 a month. That's the principal and interest. The interest on a $300,000 loan is 5%. So, 300,000 by 5% comes out to 15,000 a year in interest. Divided by 12 months equals $1,250 a month. That's the interest. Now the principal and interest is $16.25 a month. Minus the interest of $12.50. That means the principal came out to $375. So, 300,000 is the loan amount. After making one payment of $16.25, only $375 went towards the principal. So what they owe at the end of 1 month is $299, $625. Say you won the lottery after 1 month. You want to pay after you made that one payment. You want to pay off the loan. You're going to come with a check for $299, $625, even though you made a payment of $16.25. But the question is, what do they owe after end of 2 months? So $299, $625 times 5% interest a year, which comes out to $14,981.25. Divide that by 12 months equals, in interest for the month, $1,248.44. The payments, the principal and interest is always the same. $16.25 minus $12.48.44 means that that's the interest, by the way. The principal that was paid that month came out to $376.56. So that's going to be applied to, it's going to be deducted from this amount. So 299,625 minus 376.56, what the owner owns after 2 months comes out to 299,248. Well, this is 56 and 44 cents. So that's what they owe after 2 months. Okay. Now, I think I just want to add a few more problems. Oh, I should leave this up here so you can get this copied. I have to. So, bring this down a little bit more. Took a lot of space. So, take a picture of that. I want to go over one or two other problems, and I will answer any questions. I don't know if you realize this, but if you borrow $300,000 at 5% interest rate, you're paying back about $800,000 over the course of 30 years. That's how much interest you're paying, about $500,000. Banks are always making the money. It's the math on national and the state. Yes, it's on both. You get 10 on the national, 3 on the Illinois portion. 3 on the national portion, 3 on Illinois. The ones on Illinois, usually the tax problems, usually you will get a points, and you will get something like this. Let me show you. So the property sold for $344,600. I'd like you to figure out what will be the state transfer tax, what will be the county transfer tax. Remember transfer taxes. That was in chapter 9. Yeah, chapter 9. Remember the state taxes, 50 cents for every $500 of value. The county is 25 cents for every $500 of value. Okay. Okay, and someone asked me how many questions. On the national portion, you have 105 questions. On the state, Illinois specific, you have 45 questions for a total of 150. But you have 10 math on the national, 3 math on the Illinois portion. So you're welcome. So remember, state is 50 cents for $500, or county is 25 cents for every $500. So what's the answers to this? You want me to repeat this question, this math problem, or are you talking about the state exam? State exam, there are 150 questions. On chapters 1 through 15, you have, from chapters 1 through 15, you have 105 questions. On chapter you have 45 questions, mostly from chapter 16, but 11 and 13 as well. 16, 11, and 13 for the 45 questions. But 105 from chapters 1 through 15. All right. The answer for the state $345. The county is going to be $172.50. Why? 344, 600, round up to the nearest 500, becomes 345. Got to round up. By the way, if you put that, if somebody gave me 344, 60 cents, guess what? That's one of the answers. Okay. Now, pretty much I'm done with the math. I pretty much cover everything. Make sure you do the Appendix A. It's very, very helpful. And because you're going to see a lot of them on there, almost word for word. That's where I got them from. I memorized those problems. Anybody have any questions? Now, if you have any question at any time, you can contact the school, send them an email. They're going to forward all the emails to me. It has to go through the school. I'll be glad to answer any questions. I usually respond the very same day. So I'll be more than happy. Otherwise, I wish you all luck.